My name is Romanda.
All right. Okay, so my name is Tammy. What's your name?
My name is Romanda.
All right. What industry did you decide to pursue a career in?
Actually, what I studied in school is totally different from what I'm practicing now. I am a fashion waste advocate. I run an NGO called Fashion for Charity Organization. So what we do basically, we collect old clothes and use it to support the clothing need of underserved communities. You know, when they talk about waste, a lot of people don't understand that even just that thing you dispose can actually solve a problem, you know, for someone else. I took a training last month with Lagos Business School, and I learned that waste is actually raw material, you know, in a different person's hand. So I have started, you know, advocating for this waste management where people will reduce, reuse, and then, you know, stop indiscriminate waste in our environment, because every issue or conversations now is around climate change. So how do we reduce the impact of climate change? Just by, you know, what do I call it now? Lifestyle change. You know, lifestyle change that will reduce the impact of waste in our environment. So that's basically what I do.
So how long have you been doing this?
I've been doing this, let me say it started as a passion, because I am actually a designer, and I asked myself, will I want to cause more problem or solve a problem? So I took the route of solution providing. So this is what led me to starting up that Fashion for Charity organization. And ever since then, I want to now, you know, set up a business around it where people can actually make money while disposing their fashion waste. So that's it.
So what if for someone who would love to, you know, get into your line of work, what piece of advice would you give to them?
Learning is very important. You know, finding a community that will help you grow. If I know what I know now, I wouldn't have taken this long route to skill. So communities like this is very important. The place of learning should not be misplaced with any other thing. And also try to find a support system. You know, try to collaborate with other people. You can't do it alone, that's the truth.
So what's the most amount of money your company has made, in a year so far?
Oh, actually, we've not started scaling. Like I told you, we do advocacy. We do advocacy. That we want to get people involved, you know, in fashion waste management.
So what piece of advice would you give your 20-year-old self?
Start early. If there's anything I will tell my older self, is to start early. I would have been, you know, in a better position if I started early, but nevertheless, it's never too late to start. The best time to start is now. So I started, and I think in the next 5 years, with the community and the network of people I have around me, I will scale.
Okay, so who are the top 5 people in your life, personal and public, that have helped shape you to become the kind of woman you are?
Okay, first of all is my husband. He's been a very strong support system to me. Then my sister, she's also a fashion designer. You know, she led me into tailoring. Then I have someone like Choma. She is a fashion waste advocate too. I have the likes of I want to call somebody personal, somebody I have connection with, not really somebody I don't have connection with. That's why I'm, you know. Then I also have who else do I'm cracking my head now. Thank you very much.
So one last question, let's wrap it up. What do you do to relax after all the stress?
I love traveling. I think one thing that
where have you traveled to?
You know, when they talk about travel and vacation, especially for us Nigerians, we think about overseas travel. No, we have very recreational sites in Nigeria. I've been to Obudukaturu, and that's like when I was 7, 2011. I've been to different very wonderful locations. I've been to, there's a resort, I can't remember, it's where I serve actually in Cross River. It's a waterfall, I can't remember the name now. But there are very wonderful places in Nigeria where we can visit. I think tourism should be invested in Nigeria, where people can actually do local travel and then relax. For me, that's how I relax. I love traveling. I love the environment. I think that was even what attracted me into waste management. Okay, my name is Romanda. I am the founder of Fashion for Charity organization. Please, I want you to subscribe to Efficiently Inspired. It's a YouTube channel, and I know you will want and enjoy the content. Thank you very much. You're welcome. It's my pleasure.
What's your name, sir?
I'm Daniel Ntia.
All right. So, what industry did you decide to pursue a career in?
Okay, in the renewable energy industry, recycling specifically. So I recycle plastics, and I do that through Luster Plastics Recycling Company.
Okay. So how long have you been doing this?
For just about a year and 8 months.
Yeah. So what would you say have been some of the most difficult challenges, through the business?
Okay, so of course, being a recycling business, there's a lot to do. It's got a lot to do with technical stuff, so machines and all of those. So technical support has been my biggest struggle, my biggest concern. Also trying to balance, trying to face or deal with the dilemma of portraying quality as well as trying to meet with customer demand. So quality versus price, so the demand is there, but the right price is also a very key factor, and that has just been a back and forth, for us at Luster Plastics.
Okay, so what has also been, on the reverse side, biggest achievements so far?
Okay, so one thing we've been able to do is we've been able to drive value realization in plastic wastes by collaborating with larger organizations that are doing a lot of stuff out there, and using that for them to use that drive as some sort of corporate social responsibility. So to them, they are gaining a reputation. To us, we're getting products. At the same time, we are able to drive that conversation and try and shape culture around how we manage waste, specifically plastics waste.
Okay, so for somebody who would want to get into your line of work, what piece of advice would you give to them?
Start very small. Start very small. If you're going to get in, please do not buy machines until maybe a year after. There's every part of the value chain is profitable. From gathering is profitable, sorting is profitable, everything. So you can gather and sell as is. You don't have to start with machines and all of that. So that was that's one piece of advice I didn't really get. And then I got that and started struggling, got machines, and then struggled a bit to try and get them to be functional.
So what piece of advice would you give your 20-year-old self?
Of course, it would have been to start recycling back then. Because pretty much everybody who started at the time I was 20, when you hear their stories now, they're huge success stories. The bigger firms and those who are able to drive this at a very great national spread as well as an international spread.
Okay, so the company you work for, is it yours or you work for you?
It's my company, yes. I founded it.
Okay, so what's the most amount of money your company has made in a year?
In camera or out of camera? Okay, so let's say about in a year, I would say roughly about $2,000 in dollars.
Okay, so what strategies would it take to scale up your a business like yours from 0 to where it is now?
So one key element would be, like I talked about, collaboration. So of course partnering with larger organizations, because one of the things that at the moment the way the value chain is, it's a bit skewed such that the raw materials are sold at very high prices, so it creates some sort of competition, and it makes what I'm doing just a business of process and sell. What's one key way to re-strategize and to do things differently would be, accept collaborative efforts from, for instance, the corporate sphere, from the government sphere, let it be that this is a subject that is being driven beyond plastics as well. How do we drive other aspects of the conversation, and then look for other people that we can get into the space?
So who are like the top 5 people that influence your life to become the kind of person you are today? Top 5, whether personal or public figure.
Okay, so public, specifically in recycling, one key company that has really influenced how I do the way I do things is Chanjadati. It's one of the largest recycling companies in Nigeria. They have, they've broken through several platforms that I hope to at some point. Another is Kautani, the founder of Kautani, Obi Charles. The guy has got guts, and he takes very calculated risks, but risks all the same, so that risk appetite is one thing I really, really admire, and then of course my family, my father, mother, different people who have been of tremendous support to me.
To wrap this up, what do you do to relax after all the stress, the day's work?
Oh, movies. Movies.
What kind of movie?
Oh God. Okay, so from rom-coms to C&I movies and all of those, yeah. So I'm Daniel Ntia of Luster Plastics, and please subscribe to Efficiently Inspired YouTube channel, and trust me, you'll be better for it.
Thank you so much, sir. All right, so my name is Tammy GMB. What's your name, ma?
I'm Delight Uche Aniche.
All right. So what industry did you decide to pursue a career in?
So you said, what did I?
What industry did you decide to pursue a career in?
So, a social impact entrepreneur.
Social impact entrepreneur.
Yeah.
What's that about?
Okay, it's ecosystem driven. It's more of helping our society, especially our immediate environment, to be able to impact lives in terms of making available useful information that can help them to build thriving businesses, upskill, and become more relevant for the 21st century.
Okay, so how long have you been doing what you do?
This is our 9th year.
9th year. So far, what has been, some of the major setbacks or challenges you've, faced?
I would say that the major setback is mental block of the people in our environment, and it looks like a setback because that's what it is. However, is actually the reason why we do what we do. So we believe that when people get the right information over time, maybe not everyone, but a couple of persons will begin to buy into it. So yes, that's the Niger Delta, South-East region of the country, which is our main focus, already have, that marginalized concept of how they are perceived. Yes, a region where people will have to leave to go to probably Lagos to go and do better. So it's quite a lot of work to be able to probably help them to improve their thinking first, and then make available information. Knowledge is power. So the more they get to know, the better they will become, and be more open to accept information that will make them better.
Okay, so what piece of advice would you give to your younger self, let's say your younger self of 20 years old?
To be more open-minded. 1, be more goal-oriented. All right? Yeah, that's it. Be more goal-oriented, be more open-minded. A closed mind, may not be able to get so much exposure.
Okay. What drives you, basically, your passion in life and all of that?
To lead a better life. To lead a better life. That's what I want to be able to see people become the best version of themselves.
Okay, so as a wrap up,
As a wrap up, personal development is something every living human being should take seriously. Now, there is an injunction to let your light shine, and the only way your light can shine is if you bring it out. So my last words would be that everyone has a gift. Everyone has something that they have been given. So find out what it is you have been given. And look, it's not hard to find. The problem is we keep comparing ourselves to other people. So at the moment you start that, you see less of your own potentials. We all know what we can do. I'm telling you, there are things that we all know how to do better. If you can find just one of the things you can do better and begin to do it from your corner, You will be noticed from your corner because your light will shine from your corner, lighting your little corner. And while you are lighting your little corner, your illumination helps other people to begin to see their own light as well. And what happens? They begin to identify you. And before you know, you have left the little corner, because that's what light will do. It grows brighter. So the more people are finding their lights through you, the more lighter you become and brighter you become. So that is my charge, that you've been blessed with something. Find it, use it unapologetically.
Thank you so much. That's so nice. Thank you, ma'am. My name is Tammy GMB. What's your name?
My name is Foluke Bassey.
What industry did you decide to pursue a career in?
Well, I presently work with the government. I work with the National Information Technology Development Agency, NIDA. It's an IT regulatory and development agency. But I work with the public relations department, which is called Corporate Affairs and External Relations Unit. So I work there under the External Relations sub-unit, and what I do mainly is public relations, everything that has to do with public relations, planning events, writing news stories, and being a compere, or what you call an MC. So those are the things I do, because my background is in English. So anything that has to do with communication, that's what I pursue. And if I may add, I'm presently running my master's in English also with the National Open University.
So how long have you been doing what you do?
Okay, as I've been into different fields. Yeah, so I started after I left the university in year 2000. I worked with a stockbroking firm where I worked as a relationship management for about 13 years. And then other than that, there I worked as a customer service relations officer. Then I grew interest in teaching, so I joined the training unit. So I left them to join the Teachers Registration Council of Nigeria, where I now decided to get a PGD in education. So presently I'm a certified professional teacher. I have the TRCN certificate before I joined NIDA, and to really pursue the communications.
So now you're in communications.
Yeah.
Public relation communication.
Public relations, communications, event management. That's what I do.
So, what has been, some of the major challenges you've, faced in your line of work?
The challenges that is obvious in service delivery, because everything I've done so far is about delivering services. So it's managing the people. Sometimes it's difficult to get people's attention, and some other times it's about people trying to buy into what you are trying to sell to them, and is the attention mainly, and then the rejection sometimes. And of course, talking to the public sometimes may not be easy when you don't have the cooperation from the audience. That's the major challenge. Other than that, it's been a fantastic experience all through all the sectors I've worked.
So can you share with us some of the major achievements?
Well, starting from the year I served, I call myself a man of the people. I've come to understand how to relate with people more, and how to break the ice, how to break the barrier of rejection. I've come to understand that, and I've come to understand that service to humanity is the best work of life, just as the JCIs used to say. So far, I've written some news reports online. You check the NIDA website. You see news stories there, and even the Infotech magazine from the NIDA, from the Corporate Affairs sub-unit at NIDA. You see some of my write-ups there. You see the name Yewande Foluke Bassey. I write feature stories and articles and news stories. Then I've been able to move up the ladder in my career, you understand. I've worked as a manager, I've worked as a branch manager, I've worked as a liaison officer when I was at TLCN, among institutions. So I used to relate between universities and College of Education. Then I've even had the opportunity of attending to the present VC of Lagos State University. So Professor, I think Ipichoye. So I've come to meet a lot of people in my line of work, because most of it has been outdoor services. So I've met so many people. I've been at different occasions where I've met so many dignitaries. So it's quite interesting. It's fun. It's interesting, and I love what I do.
Okay, so what advice would you give to someone who would want to get into your line of work?
Okay, any line of work at all requires constant development. So we need to improve, and you have to be on top of your game. Even if you're an artisan, you need to learn the new trend or whatever it's related to what you do. So personal development is very key. That's one. Two, we should embrace when the opportunity arises, organizational development, where you join teamwork, and then we could just have like a knowledge management center where we can train ourselves. Like a bit and your friend knows a bit, even if we are working independently, then you can come together. I know this part and you teach me this part and I'll teach you. So being ready to develop ourselves personally is very key. And the second thing is being very optimistic. Always stay on the positive side on whatever you do. That's just it for me.
Okay, so who are the top 5 people, whether personal or public figure, maybe celebrity, or you don't need to know them personally, so personal or not personal, that have helped shape your life to the kind of woman that you are today?
Oh, first and foremost, I'll give it to my lecturers. Okay. And I think I'll first mention Professor Leke Fakoya. Yes, he's working in the Lagos State University.
Did you school there?
Yes,
okay.
Yeah. So, and other lecturers that trained me, I give it to them. They did a very good job and I appreciate them. Then I'll give it to somebody that's well known, our former Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo. Okay. Yes, he's a very good orator. I like it, the way he handles himself on stage. Yeah. And then I'll give it to somebody very known to NIDA. He was a former NIDA staff. He's a good MC. I call him Sir Kemabunta. That's his name. He's somebody that, since I joined NIDA, he's been like a mentor to me. So then the fourth person will be my boss at work. Yes, she's a leader that has helped us to be able to grow over time and learning on the job and all the experiences I've had. Well, the fifth person, not in any order of ranking, actually. I should acknowledge my mom. And, probably my dad. He was going to be, that makes it 6, my parents then, making it 5. Okay. Thank you very much.
So to wrap it up, what do you do to relax, after, stress and all of that? What do you do to relax? Hobbies?
Okay. Well, my hobbies, I like reading. Okay. And I like writing.
So reading, what kind of books?
Presently I read motivational books. I'm reading on AI. I'm reading the book Risk by Ben Carson now. And then I read, I write. So you always find a pen and a paper around me. Then, of course, I like watching movies.
What kind of movies?
Mostly American movies. And I watch Nigerian movies based on recommendation. So I can say that I've seen The Black Book.
Okay. Yeah, that was a nice movie. Yeah.
Okay. Hi guys, my name is Foluke Bassey. I work as a public relationship officer with the National Information Technology Development Agency, NIDA. I want you to subscribe to the Efficiently Inspired YouTube channel. Thank you.
Thank you so much.